Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we're going to make a beautiful pair of earrings, wire-wrapped beaded earrings, using products from the August edition of the Jessie James Magical Mystery Bead Box. But first, our encouraging word for today is by Henry David Thoreau, and it says, "Success usually comes to those who are too busy to be looking for it." I think that's pretty wise words right there. Okay, so if you want to make this pair of earrings, you are going to need the two V-shaped earring findings that were in the box this month. You're going to need two, I'm using ball head pins. You do not have to use ball head pins. You can use just plain old head pins. I'm just using those because I like them. I'm using two of these flower bead caps. These two beads, and I believe these are agate. I am not sure. They may just be glass, but they look like agate to me. They have like an electroplating kind of shimmery coating. They're really pretty. We'll be using an assortment of the smaller beads, so I'm going to use 4 of these little apple colored rondelles, 2 of the rhinestone little beads, these 2 little barrel type beads or rectangle beads, these 4 little spacers, and 2 of the yellow rondelles, and 2 of these kind of a more buttercup color. These are like English cut beads. So I have all this, and then I have some 24 gauge wire here, just regular artistic wire in gold, and we're going to be using that. Okay, I will be using my chain nose pliers, my round nose pliers, my bent nose pliers, and my cutters. So get your stuff together if you want to make this a little project with me, and come on back and we'll get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is make my little dangle here. And I'm going to do both earrings at once just because I can. And it's easier that way. So I'm putting my bead cap on the bottom and then my little agate bead. And then I'm going to add this little spacer right on top. Okay. We're going to make a wrapped loop. So I am going to bend this 90 degrees. Just like that. I am going to use my chain nose pliers. And I'm coming up and over like this. So if you move them, you have kind of this little question mark looking thing. Then I'm rotating my pliers from horizontal to vertical, just like this, going right under and wrapping to make my little loop. Okay. Then I'm going to take my bent nose pliers and hold it. And I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and go ahead and wrap. Now you can make this as neat or as messy as you want. I tend to like to make it a little bit messy because I kind of like the boho flair, but you can definitely make it a neat little spiral if you want. But I kind of just wrap it around. So just like that, I'll wrap it as many times as I can, and then if I can wrap it to the point where I don't need to cut it and I just can tuck it, I will, but sometimes you have to cut it off. But it looks like maybe this time I can just wrap until it will tuck. And I like to do that. I just like the little boho flair that it gives your projects to have this little messy wrap on here. And so I'm just going to make sure that I tuck the end in, just so it's not snagging, you know, wouldn't catch on somebody's clothes or somebody's skin. So just tuck it in. If you can't get it tucked in, just trim it off with your cutters, but I think we're pretty tucked there. I may trim just the very end of it. There we go, that's good. Okay, so there is our little dangle. And we're going to do 2 of those, so 1 more, same thing. I thought these beads were so beautiful. Like I said, they look like agate. I'm not sure they are, but they sure are a good imitation if they're not. They're really pretty. This whole Magical Mystery Bead Box was amazing. If you have not subscribed to it, you might want to check it out. It is absolutely, every month it's beautiful. I mean, they just really, seems like they outdo themselves every single month, but this one I loved. It has some really beautiful colors and beautiful pieces in it, and I'm going to be doing several tutorials out of it. So if you haven't, oh no, our little bead cap went right through. I was afraid of that, but it didn't do it on the other one. So let me see if I can kind of twist this ball head pin to where it will hold it on. Sometimes you can angle it. Nope, it's not going to do it. That is not good. Hold on just a second. I'm sorry, guys. I thought it would stay because it stayed on that one, but it does go right through that. Sometimes on the ball head pins, you'll have one with a bigger, you know, bigger ball than the rest. So let me see if I can get one here that does. I'll see, that one looks pretty good. It's not going anywhere. So it must have just been that one had kind of a smaller little, they all came in the same package, but you know, sometimes things like that vary a little bit. So let's just go ahead and do this again. But I will have a lot of tutorials out of this box. I mean, I've already got like 5 projects laid out. It just, when I first opened it, I started just immediately getting ideas. That's how I know it's a good box. When I can sit down with it and just start really, the ideas start flowing. Sometimes there are boxes that I'll get that I'll have to really, really, you know, stare at them for a long time or just really kind of struggle to come up with something. But this box I did not have any problem with. Okay, so there are our 2 dangles. We're just going to go ahead and, actually I'm not going to put them on yet because we're going to do some wire wrapping. So I'm going to grab probably about 12 to 16 inches of my wire here, and that's probably way too much, but I'm a little intimidated by wire wrapping sometimes, and so I want to make sure I have enough, okay? So I'm going to separate my beads out here so that I have even number, you know, even ones here and here. And I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to take this wire and lay it up against the edge of this earring, okay? Starting by the hook here. And then I'm just going to start wrapping. Now this, I want to kind of keep neat little wraps if I can. So I'm going to make a little coil. I'm wrapping it around itself. See how I have it laying up here against this? And that's just going to keep it neat, hopefully, and secure. It'll help secure it to the piece. Okay, so now I'm going to take one of my little apple green pieces here, beads here. I am going to drop it all the way down on my wire. And then I'm just going to kind of lay the wire over the top of the bead and back through, just like that, and do another couple of coils. Now I'm not trying to make it to where the wire does not show or the bead lays flat. That's not my point, my object here. I just want to get the beads onto this frame on the front, and see how he's flipped around to the back. So you need to make sure that you keep flipping him to the front. But again, you know, that little piece of wire is going to show. You can take your pliers and kind of kink it down a little if you want. Just, you know, take your plier and kind of kink it down like that. But I don't have a problem with it showing. And I'm not doing very many wraps between the beads, just like 2 wraps there, and then I'm going to move on to the next bead. And I think I'll do this English cup bead next. Okay, just like that. And same thing, I'm going through and just wrapping it around a couple of times between each bead. And I am trying to keep the coils between the beads fairly neat. And then you can shove this down. You can push it down a little bit if you want to where the beads are right on top of each other. Now, let's see. I think I better grab a metal piece. Let's go ahead and do this sparkly one. We'll put it right in the middle. Okay. Same thing. And I am keeping this fairly tight. You don't want it loose. You want your wire to be tight and wrap around. You know, keep everything to the front of your piece. Push it down if you'd like, as necessary. Now I'm going to do the blue rectangle bead. Okay, I'm just going to lay him the same way. I want to put the shimmery part of him. He's got like a really shimmer coating, and I want to make sure that that lays on the front. So I'm just going to twist him around so that it does. And I'm trying not to kink my wire. that a little tighter and just keep wrapping. 2. I'm just doing a couple wraps between each bead and then shoving this down to make sure that they're coiled neatly. Now let's go ahead and do our yellow bead. Again, going right through here. I'm really bad about using too much wire, but I'm fairly intimidated by wire wrapping. It's never been something I was that fantastic at. So, I mean, you get better as you practice, obviously, everybody does, but I always end up cutting more. But I use it in other little things later. It's not like I ever throw it away or it goes to waste, but you probably don't need as much as I do, especially if you're more accomplished at it than me. Okay, we're going to lay this little guy down, and we're going to have just enough room on the end for our other green bead. Okay, so we're just laying him on here. I'm going to try to set him up straight so but he's kind of wanting to lay sideways. It really won't matter. Okay. Pulling those tight, shoving him down, and we're going to put our last bead on, which is going to be this green bead. So we started with the green bead, we're going to finish with the green bead. I love these ear wires. I think they're so cool and modern looking. Just really like them. Okay, so I'm coiling this one around several times here at the top. I'm going to make sure all my beads are sitting on the front of this ear wire. Just coiling around several times. And then I'm just going to come to the back here and I'm going to cut it with my flush cutters. And I'm just going to tuck it. I'm going to take my plier and just tuck it in right here so it's just not poking out. And there's what we've got. Okay, I'm going to open this up right here. Hang on my ear wire, or my little dangle, I'm sorry, not an ear wire. Close that up. You want to make sure it's closed good. And there we have it. I think they're happy, cute little things, and you can kind of twist your beads around to make them lay like you want. Push them down if you want. But I love the colors in this month's box. They're just fantastic. Let me see if I can coil some of these down just a bit. I want them to be a little closer together on the frame. And you can just take your pliers and do this to move them down a little closer to each other. Just like that. Okay, so there we go. I think they're cute, super cute. The colors in this month's box I just absolutely adore. So I'm going to go ahead and do my other one, and you do yours, and we'll come right back and then we'll finish up our video. Okay, so here is our cute little pair of earrings. I think these turn out really nice. And like I said, I love the colors. They're very modern in the way of the ear wire, but they have this boho look to them. I think they're super cute. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like it and subscribe to the channel. I will be doing a lot more from the Magical Mystery Bead Box, and if you don't ring the bell, you won't know when I upload. So ring the bell, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!